This is my car. This is Dad's car. And this is Mom's car. And we are going to race.
Yay! Ready?
Okay, over here. We're in Legoland. And we were just racing the cars that each of us built to see which one could go faster. And over there you could do an earthquake thingy and my building didn't fall down. And this is...
Becca's having a mind storm.
No. This is a car that me and Daddy and my mom all built. Okay. I really did build those giraffes over here. These buffalo thingies. Okay. a robot to compete in a sports thing. Yeah, what she said. And it just headed up, and I'm 11, so that's pretty good. And I hope it'll be fun, and it's 45 minutes long. So, yeah. Okay.
Ready?
Okay. We are now in front of the dinosaur that we showed earlier, and we have now figured out that the stuff coming out of his nose is a mist of water, as you can see on the ground here.
You sure he doesn't just have allergies?
Yeah, whatever. And now, as we walk over here, follow us over here, past the runny-nosed dinosaur, find the submarine. And Mother is going to the restroom.
I'm sure our audience would appreciate hearing that. Okay.
Okay, here we are standing behind a wall, telling a story. First thingy is to see this thirsty. Dad comes in and trips over Legos. Then uses water. Then the kid has to pee.
It's really good. Uh-oh. That was good. You know what? Probably like maybe a second more. Just go 1 second longer.
Okay.
You just turned around. You couldn't find the line. Go ahead and run.
Again.
Yeah. That'll stop. Are you on the right side or left side? Oh, someone's missing an extra ball from the water. Oh, was that Dad using those? Your eyeballs too much. Let's just go regular green ones. You've got extras.
One more green
One more green for you. There you go.
for the next trip.
All right. 45 carries.
Yes.
1,
2, yeah. Oh.
I'll pass it to you. I'll pass it to you. Teamwork.
Go.
I'll use the straight one, but first you climb. You can do it the straight one.
Oh, that's it.
you not to do that. I started. Like, you gotta throw you out of the park and start doing stuff like that. Out of the park? They don't go on the rail.
Grandpa, you're distant. Hurry. Wow, look at this.
We have a problem in the engine room. Engine number 1 is overpressed. All hands on deck. And fire crew report to engine room.
Lives lost in that. What? This is the Park Rock Band.
We have to find
That's the one we missed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, honey. Here. How are you? How are you?
Now, what's the one thing that you're supposed to remember? I'm impressed that you think I'm hot stuff. What is that funny, Dave?
Police officer.
But I'm not the right time! Did you get catch card?
Over there, Andrew.
What's the matter, Rev? Rebecca, what is it? What is it?
Andrew, drive over this way.
Rebe, get in. Rebe. Rebecca.
big kids get ahead of you. Now they're going out. Up there, up there.
So we want to go over there and then down. Okay, here we are at Legoland, and there's a bunch of people walking in front of us. And here you see is a buffalo that has a hitch. And there you see people and Albert Einstein. Now we're going to turn around because there's a million people. There's a guy.
Don't pan too fast, slowly, because when you watch it back, it'll just go.
And here is an octopus. Ooh, freaky, I know. And here's the girl. Ooh. Okay, here's a bunch of people walking and everything. And here's another bunch of people. And we're gonna go up this flag put and look at the flag. Oh my gosh, isn't that cool? Here's a flag. It's a black monkey type thing, I think. I don't really know what it is. And then we're gonna walk over here. Don't know if you can see it. Zoom in. Where's zoom in? Where is it?
Right up here on the side, pull down to pull it in, and then push it back. Don't do it too fast. Push it back, bring it back out. Just do it gently.
Here's a giraffe. And here's a lady. See the lady? Yeah. Albert Einstein. monkey. There's a bunch of people.
Doing that.
Here's Giraffe Peter again.
I'm just gonna wrap it up because I don't want to waste the tape. Put both ends on it. Did you push the button?
And that concludes our story for today. Thanks for watching and have a great
Be
evening.
really careful. What you're doing is a good way to drop it. Did you push the button?
And here's the last photo of all the stuff. Here's the photo. Ooh. I'll follow. Okay. Have a great day, people.
As a matter of fact, the average house that you'll be seeing was even built on it. 123 of the Halloween movies that they've made so far. Featuring the evil villain Michael Pleasance in the exciting Man on the Moon, talent scouts and agents to come down here. She did House of Blues, just completed. And on the right and across the 90210. Coming up on the right, you're going to see a huge estate that's completely surrounded by built the Beverly Hills Hotel as a lure. Sort of a promotional gimmick. You invite wealthy Easterners to come and stay. Well, you got a couple of, there's an SUV. There's a brand new Bentley. There's a brand new red Ferrari. Another brand new Bentley. Improvement, now he's a teenage heartthrob. A wild and crazy guy, Steve Martin. This was built in the 1930s. First thing that happened was a chandelier fell out of the ceiling one time. And it's literally been reconstructed. And here it is on the left. Ever made. When first, the pellet with the poison was in the vessel with the pestle, and the chalice from the palace had the brew that was true, then the pellet with Agnes Moorehead, who played Endora on Bewitched, Samantha's mother. But before that, for many years, she was a very accomplished dramatic actress. She was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, and she was a member of Orson Welles' Mercury Theater. She appeared in his first 2 movies, Citizen Kane and The Magnificent Ambersons. Right next door, this was the last home of Ira Gershwin. He and his brother George wrote such wonderful melodies as Rhapsody in Blue and An American in Paris. Right next, role as Cyrano. She'll be best remembered for her role in White Christmas. She appeared in all 3 Godfather movies, and her best movies were Baby Boom and Steve Martin's Father of the Bride, and she's called almost 11 when she passed away, and then her second husband Gary Morton sold it. This is where the kids were raised, but this house will never be the same again. 24, it was his last West Coast home. In 1964, the Beatles came to this house. He's the owner of the Harlem. You might like these guys. Coming up on the left over here, they just turned 13. It's the home of the Olsen new show, 2 of a Kind, and they do a lot of work for Disney, too. Disney likes them. Why? Because they're so cute. The house. The bridge is over one of the most unusual swimming pools I've ever seen. Weissmuller was a champion swimmer, a 5-time Olympic gold medal winner. And they say that with a little encouragement, partygoers could get Johnny to swing from a rope, splash into the pool, and swim its entire length, which, as you can see here, is considerable.
Sure they don't keep the pool. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the house hasn't been occupied for almost 20 years now. It's still in probate, and it's recently suffered some fire damage, too.
Oh, man, that's too bad.
And it kind of looks like a hotel, too. Those of you on the left, look way up high there. You can see there are a couple of glass walls on the side of the pool, enabling you to see underneath the surface of the water where the blue is. You can actually see the waves because there's a little wind up there. I can see some leaves floating around up there, too, on this second window over here. See those? Conrad was once married to Zsa Zsa Gabor, poor guy. And his son Nicky was once married to Elizabeth Taylor. As you can see, the house is up for sale right now, but it's still currently owned by yet another hotel owner, the owner of the Beverly Hills Hotel, the second richest man in the world, the Sultan of Brunei. And all of this on the left here, current home of Sophia Loren. She and Miss Taylor are very good friends. They're only 2 years in age difference. Ms. Loren spent some of her time in Switzerland, but most of it here in Los Angeles, as her son lives here now. And she's still gorgeous. You know that if you saw her latest American film, Grumpier Old Men. And straight ahead there, you can see there's a huge mansion there with 6 chimneys. This is one of the few views we're going to be able to get of it. But that was the mansion that was used in the television show, The Beverly Hillbillies. Known to millions of people all over the world as the home of the Clampetts. Now, right in here is the very front of the estate. And this is where that classic gate once stood, the main entrance. I think Palenque just ought to rebuild it the way it was. You know, he's got the money, he can afford it. Former President Ronald Reagan. Maureen announced to the press recently that Nancy is no longer accepting guests to spare him frustration because he just doesn't remember anyone anymore. The saddest story I have ever heard is that inside the house there is a little porcelain miniature of the White House. And one day Nancy saw him staring at it, and she said, "What's wrong, dear?" And he said, "I know this place." This is their one and only residence now, as they have sold their Santa Barbara ranch 2 years ago because he can no longer do what he loved to do, and that's ride horses. You have to take into consideration he's not only suffers from Alzheimer's, but he's 89 years old now too, and he'll probably go down. Despite your politics, he'll always go down. He'll be going down in history as being one of the most popular presidents of the 20th century. Now we're going to see the home. Anybody else want a picture? Pass your cameras up ahead and I'll get it for you.
Is it up here?
Pass your camera up ahead. You have a video, okay? Right.
Yeah.
That's it, Campio? And as you can see, and it's huge too, because all of this on the left over here is all part of it. And just think, before he moved in here, he lived with his mommy. Look behind the gate there, and you can see there's a beautiful, magnificent fountain right in the courtyard there. If you look real carefully, right over here, you can see a beautiful fountain right in the courtyard there. His most recent film was Bringing Out the Dead, the new Scorsese film, which won a lot of critical acclaim but didn't do too well at the box office. And I think his best role, though, was in Moonstruck. I think that's my favorite. His real name is Drysdale, the banker, and his hypochondriac wife, Margaret. And their spoiled, rotten Sonny. And their pampered poodle, Claude. Heart to Heart. As the home of Jonathan and Jennifer Hart, portrayed by Robert Wagner and Stephanie Powers. And this very unusual Mediterranean over here at one time was the home of Beach Boy Brian Wilson back in the early 60s at the height of his career. And no, this was not used in the recent ABC TV movie about the Beach Boys. With Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton, and Jane Fonda, it was the home of the character portrayed by Dabney Coleman's, their nasty boss. That's where they tied him up and hung him from the ceiling for 6 weeks. Hey, there's Beavis and Butthead. Okay, here's a brand new house just completed 3 years ago last November. It is quite spectacular, as is its owner. Here's the brand new home of Janet Jackson. Look inside there. And look at all the expensive marble facing and the gilding throughout the front of the house here. This is the most expensive estate we've seen so far. It cost her over $30 million. Look in the backyard there. There's a swimming pool just this side of the gazebo, and on the left there are marble posts with the faces of white lions that spout water into the pool. And there's a foyer with a huge rotunda with skylights in it. And notice that even the columns are faced with marble. Anybody want a picture? 123 rooms.